Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I add dimension with Lowlights. You can see here she is pretty grown out right now. Her blonde isn't as bright as I want it to be, so we're going to try to boost it up a little more. I want to keep her as blonde as possible, but I just want something in there to break it up a little bit. So now for mixing, I'm going to be mixing 95-46 Schwarzkopf Gora Vibrance, but I'm going to add a little bit of 6-0 just to deepen it a little bit. And then for her highlight, I'm going to be using Oligo Backlight with 20 volume. I love this lightener. I did use it in the last video. So I'm going to be starting with 20 volume, and if I need to, when I get to the front, I'll probably bump it up to about 25. So if you're interested in seeing her end result, then just keep watching. Alright, so I am starting on my first foil, and you can see that I am taking very fine sections. I know this piece I have right here is really small. It is her baby hair, but you know, to me, if you wear your hair up and that piece is left brown, it's just going to add too much depth in there. I really want just around her hairline to be really blonde. And yeah, so that is why I'm doing that. I'm going to be foiling two blonde to one low light, just because my main focus is to keep her blonde, but I do want that dimension in there. So you're going to see me foiling. I'm going to cut out the other side of the head just because I thought, you know, it's too repetitive, and I know you guys just want to see the end result. So enjoy, and if you have any questions, don't be afraid to leave them down in the comments. As you can see, while I'm foiling, I am flicking the product through her ends a little bit, just where there's some brown. I want to be very careful because I don't want to saturate any of her previous blonde pieces with lightener, because once I close that foil up and the heat gets to it, it will expand and cause breakage. If she isn't too light in some spots, then yes, I will go over it because I'm not worried about it over processing. But since she is pretty blonde on her ends, I just want to be very careful. Sometimes to relighten those pieces, I'll do a foil pull, which is pulling those blonde pieces out, and then I drag the product from the root to the ends and I let it sit outside of the foil. I'll do a video on that next time, or whenever I get a chance to, just because I feel like it's something that is very important to learn when you're not wanting any breakage. I just find this is a very safe route to take, and then you'll get that lift that you want. But for her hair, I am just going over any of the brown in there, or if there are some dark gold spots. I wanted to touch on why I did use a demi-permanent for my low light. I did use a demi-permanent over a permanent color for my client today, just because we are back and forth between going blonde and having a low light in there. So if I was just to do, let's say, a full foil of blonde on her rather than having a low light, then I know I'm going to be able to break through that previous low light because it's not a permanent color. If I had a permanent on there, I feel like I wouldn't get the perfect level of blonde that I wanted, and this way it's just an easier process for me, and I know that I can get her to where I want her to be. So now that I'm finishing up on the back side of her head, you can see that I am going to be teasing those last few foils only because I want it to be very low maintenance for her. I also do find that when I do this, when she does come back to me for her next session, I find that it's very soft. There's no harsh lines and that it's a very nice gradual look from root to blonde. So I'm finishing up on the last side of her head. I didn't include the other side only because I find that this can be very repetitive, only because I am doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm gonna just keep doing this, and then once I get to around her hairline, I'll talk about what I'm doing a little more. Okay, so now that we're working on her hairline, I just want to touch on these little baby hairs here. So they can be very difficult to foil only because when I'm doing them, I really want it to be fine enough that it's going to look very natural. So when I'm doing this, I find that since I'm picking up just a little bit of hair and putting it in the foil, that it's very hard for the foil not to slip. So when I'm doing this, I like to hold it, apply my product, and try not to move the foil as much as possible. When doing this also, I do find that it's hard because the other foils from the sides of her head get in the way a little bit. So I will bend the side of the foil a little bit so it will give it a sturdier placement. You can watch me do this here. I do a money piece on her, and I will kind of go in depth on another video about a money piece. If you guys don't know what that is, it's just like that really bright piece at the front of your hairline, and we call it a money piece. So yeah, I'm gonna finish doing this and then we're gonna get to toning. So this is her whole head done. You can see that there's a lot of foils in there, but we are going to be moving on to toning, and I just wanted to show the purple shampoo that I use. It's called Nook, and it is very pigmented. I like to use this before I tone just to get any of those warm tones out with the shampoo first, and then I'll go in with my toner, which is Schwarzkopf Igora Vibrance 95-1 and 95-19. So we are here at the sink and I am toning, and I did leave out the purple shampoo portion only because I didn't want this to be too long of a video for you guys. So I did use the purple shampoo. I left it in for about, I think, like 2 minutes because it was very pigmented, and then I could have left it in a lot longer probably, but I knew I was going in with the toner. So now that I'm applying her toner, you could see here that I did take out those front pieces only because I don't want those to take too much. I really want those to be the brightest pieces of her hair, so I did leave those out, and I will apply the toner on them in the last few minutes before rinsing. Alright, so this is her end result. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you really like this video, please give it a like and a subscribe. If you have any questions, just leave them down below in the comment section for me, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.